Hello everyone, it's Gigi. Welcome to my Saturday Morning Makes episode 32 with Jill Norwood. And this is going to be the last of my Christmas for 2021. So I'm going to show what I've used and then I'll show you what I've made. And this one might be a bit of a long one because I have quite a few things that I've made. And this first stuff I'm going to show you is I got the idea from Strawberry Cream 39, who is Jen. Hi, Jen. And this is what I've used. So I used this holly berry right here, and I used some berries that are also in this set from Allie. And then I used these wood pieces that I got from Kimberly S. Hi, Kimberly. And so I used some of these. I didn't just use the bell, I used the trees, the bell, and the stars. Then I used some Distress Ink Vintage Photo. I used some of these fillers from the Dollar Tree. I used the gold and the silver. I used some of this that I had in my stash. And these are natural bark shapes from Prima, and I've had these for a very long time. So I used some of these stars. I also used the smallest poinsettia from the Spellbinders called Layered Poinsettias. I used some pom-poms from this Maggie Holmes Carousel. And I used the darker and the lighter pink. I used this Tulip Matte Dimensional Fabric Paint. I used this Apple Barrel Light Mocha paint, acrylic paint. I used some of this glitter. I believe this is from Stampin' Up! I also used this Unicorn Dust Glitter. It's Prismacolor from Simon Says Stamp. I used this Nuvo Crystal Drops, and this one is called, it's a glitter drop, and it's called Sunlit Meadow. And then I used this Nuvo drop. It's a crystal drop called Party Pink. I also used some foil, which, did I pull that? Oops. I used some foil paper. Did I pull it? Yes. I used some silver and gold, or was it? Yeah, I used silver and gold from this. And I think that's everything I used. No, I used some magnets from the Dollar Tree. Okay, now let me show you what I created. Oh wait, I also used some of these. I used some sprinklets. I used some of the candy canes from this one. I used this Trinity Stamps, this chocolate chip hearts. And then I used some of these sprinkles from this one right here. I don't know who these are by, but you could use whatever you have. And this is what I came up with, my first one. So I tried to make it like a cookie, and I made the magnets so you can put them on your fridge. So I made that one, and I put the poinsettia on top. I made this one. And those were my two bells I made. And then I made some Christmas trees. Oh, I also used some green paint. Forgot to show that. I used this from my stash that I had. This Studio 71, it's called Hooker's Green. But I used that. And I made this one here. And I made this one here. Cute, right? And oh, I forgot to show one other thing that I did. I missed a step. I used this Tim Holtz sandpaper and I sanded them to round the corners. Hold on, my cat is trying to get in. Come on. I sanded the edges, the top, the back, and then I rounded the edges so that they wouldn't be so rough and they looked more like a cookie. And then here are my stars that I made. And I think they turned out so cute. And instead of berries, I put pom-poms to make the berries. And I think they turned out so cute and they look real. And everybody I showed them to, they're like, they look like real cookies. So thank you, Jen, for the idea. So, and thank you, Kimberly, for the cookies. I mean, for the wood shapes. I love them and I'm having fun with them. Okay, on to my next project I made. So, I made these cards using, and this idea I got from Tina Bean, who's Crafty Bean here on YouTube. And she used this big die, and it also has an embossing folder that comes with it. It's called Snowman and Hat. If you're interested, I found it on eBay, and it's at a really good price, brand new. So I used that. I used this Peachy Keen Jill's Favorite stamp set, and I used this one right here, the little snowman face. I used two different inks. I used Sponge Sugar, and then I used this Lawn Fawn Kiddie Pool color. I used, where'd the die go? Oh, here it is. I used this die here by Anna White, I believe. It's called Buttons. I used one of these that I got from Allie. I used a pink one, a light pink one. I used my Infinity Rectangle dies by Hero Arts. I used some 3D foam squares. I used some of these snowflakes from Snow and Cocoa stickers. I used some Fa La La stickers from Crate Paper for my sentiments. I used these two trims from Celebrate It, which is from Michaels, and they're really pretty. I used some Copics, and I used this paper pad called Silent Night that is from Recollections. It's a very pretty paper pad, and they're $4.99 right now. And I think that was everything I used. Oh, I used some Dress It Up buttons, and I keep mine in this little jar all mixed up. These are my Christmas ones. So I used a snowflake. And this is what I came up with. And I got the idea from Tina Bean. And I made this one right here. And it just says Merry Christmas on the inside. And then I made this one right here. And I think they turned out so stinking cute. So I love those. Okay. And then for my next project, I made some more angel cards. So let me show you what I used. I used this penny black die called Stitch Stackers. It's one of my favorite dies. I used Anna's Primitive Angel die. I used some paper from Bo Bunny called Christmas Treasures Collection. I used more of this foil paper that I showed you. It's foil cardstock stack from DCWV. And then I used my glitter dust in silver and gold. I used some Copic, and I also used some 3D foam squares, and I came up with this. And I left the insides blank. And I think they're so cute. Really, really cute. So we did those. Next is probably like one of my favorite cards that I did this year. So I used, actually let me show you this one first. I used the My Creative Time cute card dies. And I used the My Creative Time stocking cover card die. And they go together. And then I used these bows that I got from Allie. And then I used some of these Stickability stickers. And I used that for my sentiment. And then I used more of that foil that I just showed you. And I came up with this little card here. I think it's so cute. And I doubled the bow up so that the top one, you could lift it a little to make it look more 3D. And then I did the little tree on this inside that says, "'Tis the season, happy holidays, and a very Merry Christmas." Really cute, fast card. Okay, on to the card that I was talking about that's like my favorite. So I used this stencil from Pink and Maine. It doesn't have a name on it, so I'm not sure the name, but it's like snowflakes. Really cute. I used this Brutus and Monroe Sweet Seasonal Apples, and I used the snowman one. And then I used this fine detail white embossing powder from Simon Says Stamp. And guys, I am on a hunt for some really good white embossing powder. If you have any suggestions, please leave it down below. I used some of this twine right here of Martha Stewart's that I had got from either TJ Maxx or Marshalls, I can't remember. I used this unicorn pigment ink from Hero Arts. I used this Prize Ribbon Distress Oxide, and I used this salvaged patina Distress Oxide. And I used my Copics to do the coloring. And this is what I came up with. I think, oh, and I used some glossy accents on the eyes and the mouth. So it says, "Happy Holidays, there is no one like you." And I left the inside blank. I just matted it. But I love this card. I think it turned out so good. Okay, and then I made some more of these cards. I'll show you what I used in case you didn't see the video. But I used some water. I used this Distress Mica Stain and Peppermint Stick. I used this Distress Mica Stain and Tree Lot. I used some twine from Dollar Tree. I used this Distress Collage Medium and Matte by Ranger and Tim Holtz. I used this little scraper that's I got from the Dollar Tree. It is awesome. I used some stencils. I use this one from Hedgehog Hollow. Snowy Days stencil is what it's called. I use this one from Simple Stories called Holly Berries. And I use this candy stripe from scrapbook.com. Then I use this Thinlits Christmas Cookies by Tim Holtz and Sizzix. I love this, guys. I used some of these decorative scissors. I used the jaggedy ones right here by EK Tools. I used some pine needles from La La Land. And then I used some watercolor paper by Canson XL. And I made these again, guys. Oh, I also used glitter. I used the one from Stampin' Up, the glitter from Stampin' Up. Okay? And I made this one right here with the bell. And what I did was I sprayed the stencil with the Distress Stain, and then I spray it with water, and then I put the stencil on top of the paper, and then I use a paper towel and I run over it to press it down on the watercolor paper, and then I lift it. And then for the cookie, what I do is I use the Distress Medium and I scrape it on there after I put some on it, and then I sprinkle on the glitter. I let it dry. I spray the inside, and then I put that on, and I leave the outside white, and I add that on with the Distress Medium, let it dry. I spray the greenery with the Tree Lot, and then this white piece of paper, I just cut that with the jagged edge, and then I wrap it with twine 3 times, and then I pop those up. And then I used those stickers on the inside. So this one says Joyous Noel. And then I did this one here with the snowflake. And this one says 'Tis the Season, Happy Holidays, and a Very Merry Christmas. And then I did this one with the holly berries. And this one says, May you have a very merry, bright and cheery, happy little Christmas. And the last one I did was one with the tree. And this one says, Be jolly. And then I did a card for my husband. I always do him a card every year. So with that one, I used this Moda Scrap paper. I got that from scrapbook.com. I used this wonky stitch die from My Favorite Things. I used this CC Designs die. It's a square set. I used this Creative Expressions die called Stitch Collection Scallop Layered Squares. I used this embossing folder called Holiday Greenery from Simon Says Stamp. And then I used this Stamping Bella called Bella's Exclusive Images. It's called Mice and Boots. Isn't that cute? I used these jelly bean soup sequins. They're adhesive. And then I used some of these stickers here. And this is what I came up with. I used some Copics to color it up. And it says, All I Want for Christmas is You. And then Merry Christmas on the inside. And I'll leave him a message, of course. But I thought that turned out so cute. And then the last thing I made this for somebody special. And she likes to read. And so I made a bookmark. I used this bookmark die from, it's called a flower tag die, and I got it on Amazon. So I used that. I used this ginger from Allie. I used this trim from Prima, and I believe it's from the Pink Christmas or something like that. And I used the white, or the iridescent. And then I used from my scrap cabin shop on Etsy, I used the white seam binding. I love that stuff. Then I used from this Gingerbread Wishes, I used Gingerbread Kisses. I used, where did I put it? Right here, I used the Simon Says Stamp Embossing Powder. And then I used this paper here from, it's called Christmas Eve, and it's, I got it from Tuesday Morning in 2020, so, and it's really pretty paper. And this is what I made. And it just says Gingerbread Kisses, and then I did the top, and then I did the back with my stamp, and I hope she likes it. And I used some stickles and some glossy accents on the bow, and I used some pink chalk on the cheeks. But guys, this has been super long. I'm so sorry, but I had a lot to share. I hope you liked it. And I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, and I love you guys. Bye.